Hi guys, I'm gonna introduce you to chapter 9, lesson 1, which is the introductions of geometry. We are focused a lot of them on point and lines and planes, okay? Remember, point has no size, okay? We represent point with point A, point B, point B. There's infinite number of points on a line, and we are going to talk about lines as well. Lines is going either directions, and it's not going to stop. And then plane is also it's a flat surface. It has no thickness to it, and there's so many lines in all directions on the plane. Okay, and then line segments is this connection. There's this connection into endpoints and rays. Okay, and then there's a ray. Ray needs to have one endpoint, and it goes either directions. Okay, let's take an examples of an angle. Hold on. An angle that has a ray, two rays combined. Okay, this is what we call point N. Remember, we represent one point. That point later on, you are gonna hear the word vertex because they're forming with the two rays. They can also forming by the two segments or two lines. Okay, this is another point C, and there's another point V. Okay, so there's 3 points, and we usually don't put the dot in front of the C, so we're going to say point C, point, hold on, let me erase this. Point N and point V. Okay, we can and also then two segment within an array. There also be a segment. We can say segment and C. Usually, I don't put a dot at the both end. If there's nothing, if I just do this, they know it is actually a segment, not array, or not even a line. Okay, I don't have to put the two dots, and then I can also say segment and V. Okay, or I can also say segment CN or segment VN. Okay, or I can say that these two are exactly the same. Okay, I can also say ray and C. Remember, ray has a have. It tells you to go from one endpoint. This endpoint is letter N. It goes into the C directions. Remember, these two ray. If I was to say C N, this way I have to point at this direction. Okay, they are exactly the same thing. Okay, and then I can also say N V. And hold on, it's not equal. I'm gonna say here. I'm gonna say or VN, but my arrows go in different directions. Okay, let's say I'm gonna have the two lines that goes parallel to each other. Okay, sort of parallel. Okay, later on you're gonna see this tick mark that said it goes parallel, meaning it's side by side, but it's not going to touch. And later on you're gonna hear the word get cut by a transversal line. Okay, let's say I'm gonna say I'm gonna have line line AB line L and line M. We can also say line AB. Okay, line AB is parallel to line CD. Okay, or I can say line L is also parallel to line M. If you have a lowercase letter, it's also representing a line, or you can also say line BA is parallel to line DC. Okay, or in this case, you can also say ray AB, meaning it goes as ray AB. You're gonna say AB. Okay, it's parallel to ray CD. Okay, let's take another example. Let's say I have a line or a segment. Let's say it's going to be a segment. Segment A, B, or segment BC. Okay, I'm going to say segment AB measure. Segment AB is 2. Segment BC is 3. Okay, so I'm going to say segment AB is 2. Segment BC is 3, meaning these two segments will add together to make it a 5. How are we going to write it? So segment AB plus segment BC is equals to segment AC. It is very obvious because the segment AB plus 3 will give me a 5. Okay, remember segments going to give you or any a positive value. Any length or segments, we always have a positive value. Okay. Okay, let's say I'm going to have an examples. I think it's from your textbook, but so this is an example. Let's say I'm going to say it is an example 1. Okay, let's say I'm going to do A, B, C, D. Okay, so they are, hold on. Okay, the reason I hold on to the other one because the other one has 3 segments. Okay, so this one has, I'm going to put an example. Okay, I'm going to put an example. If I have A, B, and then I have a C. Let's say I'm going to have AB as a shorter segment. Okay, I'm going to add plus BC. It's going to add up to the longer length. What it means is that I always put in examples as you're cutting a piece of wood. Okay, I'm cutting. This is my whole length of wood. Okay, let's say I'm going to cut it in 2. I'm cutting it into a smaller piece, and then I'm going to cut it into, and then the other one, the remaining ones, is a longer. What it means is that this piece right here, hold on, this piece right here is going to add together with this second long ones. I know it's a 3, but the length AB is only 2x. I don't know what x is, but I know together they will add up to 8x. Okay, see how that works. I'm going to have A length AB as a 2x, and then length BC as a 3, and length C is 8x. You need to solve, this is what we do, substitution. Okay, I want to solve for what x is, and then the moment I know what x is, I know exactly what each measurement is. Okay, so I'm going to do the inverse operation. I want to solve x, so I'm going to get rid of the 2x. I'm going to combine it together by bringing it to the other side. I'm going to have 6x. Okay, and then I want to isolate 8x by itself, so I'm going to divide them by 6. I'm dividing by 6. So x would be 1/2. Okay, this steps is by subtraction and division, and then this x in this case, well, simplify. Oh, sorry, simplify, and it is divisible by 3. Okay, when I have it, I know the length of AB. The segment AB equals to 2x. So I substitute, since I know what x is, I'm going to substitute into 2 times 1/2, which is 1 unit. Okay, and then I have length AC equals to 8x. 8 times a half, 4. That should give me 4 units. So I know that let me see if I can bring this. I'm going to copy, I'm going to paste. Okay, so let's see, I'm going to have, so I know this is 1 unit, I'm going to add 3, that should be equals to 4. Therefore, if I cut both things in half, the whole length should give me 4 units. Same thing goes up here. I'm going to have AB plus BC plus CD should give me AD. Okay, that's what I have. So now I'm combining like terms. That is my like terms. So I want to combine those two together. And then I'm going to there's one more. I'm going to combine those 3 together. And then over here, these 2's are like terms. So I want to get all of them together. Okay, so the 4, the 5, and I'm going to combine these 2 first. So that should give me 9x. Okay, and then combine these 2 on one side. That should give me 7. I'm going to rewrite this plus 1. So I'm going to have the 9x and the 12x. I want to get it put together, and then the 1 and the 7. I do this by inverse operation. I always want to have x to be positive, so I want to get rid of 9x. Okay, I also want to get rid of, that's 3 plus 1, and then I want to get rid of the 1. Therefore, x is 2. Okay, once I have that, I substitute to the rest. Okay, I have BC, which is 5x. 5, I'm going to substitute into a 2. That should give me a 10. And then I have CD is 4x, my plus 1. It should be, okay, x plus 1. That should give me a 9. And then I have the everything together should be 12x plus 1. That should give me 12 times 2. That's 24 plus 1 is 25. Let's test it. 6, ABC is 10. And that's 9. That should give me 25. Well, this is going to be 25 and 25. Okay? Okay, so let's try work on your